Hi, welcome back to Pathologic 2. We'll be loading up right where we left off with the horror specs standing over 3 dead bodies after just arriving back in town. The thing about Let's Playing Pathologic 2 is there are a lot of options that will be difficult to cover in one playthrough, impossible to cover in one playthrough, intentionally by design. There's a lot of people to talk to, and you have a very limited time, and limited stamina, and limited things to work with these things. Anyway, 3 corpses in front of us. We can loot them. We'll take the money, fishing hooks, rusty scissors. You notice here it says that sharp objects are regarded as dangerous and frowned upon. And we have a pocket watch. That's a important thing to note, that our character is a surgeon in a town where weapons and pointy things are considered illegal and banned often. Charm. It averts bad fortune. It's helpful to some people, but useless to me. A scrap name. When a person is done with their name, they discard it. That's an interesting thing. That's something I didn't really find out much about in my original playthrough, but here's a child up here.
The worst is yet
Leica
to come.
says, "You hit hard for a hunchback, but whoa boy, you screwed up. Those 3 guys are dead. I saw you do it too. You're gonna be in serious trouble." He's describing us as a hunchback because they hurt us pretty bad. We're at half health. I'm a watchdog, and I watch out for your soul. No, wait. I'm a guide dog. I'm gonna guide your soul to its rightful place when you die. My soul? These poor fools need your help first. I'll definitely die if I don't stop this bleeding. If only I had a bandage. He gives us a tourniquet? It used to be my leash, but it seems like you need it more. Thanks. You're a nice kid. A leash? No thanks. I'd rather avoid leeches. Man, you really have some anger problems, don't you? Zing, pow, blam, 3 guys dead. This ain't the right way. Ain't how we do things around here. Yeah? What's the right way then? Kid, around here isn't anywhere special. I'll handle it. It's my sin to carry. I don't need a lecture. Well, you gotta be nicer. Just hit him. 3 times, max. Send him running and let him run. You don't actually have to kill everyone who bothers you. Jeez. I'll keep that in mind. And we can speak to Leica again if we want. Although he did give us some new information. There's 3 notes we got last time, where we were summoned back to our hometown. And now we met a funny dog-eared kid at the station. What was he doing there? There's a letter we got from our father. And it welcomed me back with its knives honed. We'll talk to him
When
again.
the cat's away,
The one with the knife was
the
Kirik,
mice will
a leather
play.
worker. Not gonna cry for him. That guy was nuts. I think it's more important to ask who the other people were. Cannery workers. You can tell by their hands. We'll often go with options that are questions. I don't know, rumors going around that someone else got murdered tonight. Guess I should sniff around and find out. Who knows? Maybe it's true. Good boy. I hope it isn't. This town's seen enough blood for one day. I agree. Someone important was murdered tonight. The 3 people we murdered weren't important, apparently. Just some cannery workers. And here we have 2 executors, and behind them, a curled up person. Well, Burak, you're nearly dead. Got a few minutes left. I'm here to announce your demise. You'll notice this executor is named. This is Beak. You've been bashed on the head several times, and the locals' fists are heavy, and one of those 4 stab wounds looks deep. Significant blood loss, too, and the local climate is unforgiving in terms of strain. Do you have any heart conditions? None. Ha! My heart's too soft. Your health is a mess. I'm guessing you haven't eaten in several days, and that you didn't sleep last night. Did you? That's what I thought. So your hunger and exhaustion are critical too. I wonder which of these afflictions will be the death of you first. So what's your plan? If I'm going to die, so be it. No, any good advice? Dressing your wounds would be a good idea. A drugstore, Burak. You've been studying surgery for 6 years and you're just finding this out now? But it's not just about the wounds. Even when they're dressed, you still need to be aware of your body. It's not always on your side. Pay attention to its needs. Next, you die anyway, because the whole town will soon have it out for you, and it's got nothing to do with the 3 poor souls you've just done in. Great. Why do they hate me? My colleague over there can explain it better. That's his role. Mine is teaching you how your body works, so you don't die before you make it home. Fair enough. Forewarned, forearmed. We can talk to him again, but I think it's better to switch to the other executor, Talon. Welcome back home, Warden. You've been away a while. You probably don't remember the heady scent of twire in the air. Do you know why you got attacked? No clue. I'm not a warden to anyone, much less an irritating bird. The whole town is looking for a murderer. A very important, respected man was killed last night. The townsfolk loved him better than some children love their fathers. Don't be too hard on them. Should I feel bad for them? Say sorry, maybe. What does that have to do with me? Who was killed? I don't think Talon will tell us who was killed. Maybe you should. Your father would. A brilliant doctor. Far better than us. I know. Oh, we're colleagues now. Indeed, old Isidore Burak was the exemplar of a true doctor and a true human being, if a miserable one. Do you honor your father? I do. We're done here. I won't discuss my father with you. He's the reason I returned. He summoned me with a letter. Said there was a threat. Do you know anything about it? Nothing's a threat to him anymore. Trust me. Maybe dishonor, but even that's unlikely. You're a man of obligation, after all, aren't you? I am. Runs in the family. Why? No dishonor will come to him for any reason. Whatever. That bit's not important. Time is short. Oh, by the way, Burak, time's important. Be careful how you spend it, and be aware that you don't have much left. I know. A few more minutes. Your colleague already told me. Well, a little more. I intend to live to 80, no less. We're a long-lived family. You've got less than 2 weeks, Burak. 12 or so days. Trust me, I'm a specialist. So use your time well, and hurry home now. Why are you wasting your time here? Your father's waiting. I'm a picture of good health. Trust me, I'm the doctor here. I should hurry home, that's true. That's why I returned to town after all. And back to Beak. Persistent, huh? Good. Maybe you'll even survive a day or two this way. Got a bite? Birdseed's fine. Food is sold in shops, though your reputation might prevent you from a warm welcome. But there's a meat warehouse nearby that was conveniently broken into recently. The perpetrators walked down the railroad tracks. There, ahead, and to the right. Think you can catch up to them? Not sure. To be honest, I'm dead tired. Yes, the railroad track goes through the warehouse is just a stone's throw away. You can sleep at somebody's place, if they like you enough. I doubt there's anyone like that around, though. People have forgotten you. You do have your own house, I suppose. Do you remember where it is? Thanks, I know that already. Godspeed, Burak. Though I doubt it'll be easy, God's presence or not. Easy isn't my style anyway. Any useful advice, then? Be careful. Be stealthy. People are scared out of their minds now, and quick to attack. Trust no one. Speak to my esteemed colleague over there. He wants a word with you. All right, I already have. You're both useless. I don't want to be unkind, since they are teaching me the basic mechanics of the game. So now we'll talk to our first reflection. Be quiet. He must not hear your voice. Lean close. He only speaks in lies and wants you dead. I'll be damned. Does everyone want me dead? Do not go home, Burak. Stay clear of home. In town, you have some friends yet, do you not? Let me guess. Father is unhappy with me, isn't he? Yes, 3 of them. We were inseparable when we were kids. The town is yours, Burak. May you soon find how deep, how far its roots run down your spine. May you inhabit it, sink through its pores, learn vein and artery, nerve and blood and cell. You need no home beyond the town itself. Forget the place you so eagerly seek. I beg forgiveness. Grievous harm will come to me should I tell you more than I can. Shut your eyes and hide under the covers then, so no one can hurt you. I'll keep what you said in mind. No more words to be exchanged with them. And so, we'll check the town. Our first direction we head in will be through the warehouse district. We're in the station at the moment. We'll take a right. The station is the umbilical cord connecting us to the outside world. This part is for cargo. This smaller building is for humans. I was summoned back to my father. That's our father's house. Pointed that out last time. We're going to go through the warehouse district. We're actually going to be spending a good amount of time in here. We have soldier food. We have a little bit of stuff to help our current condition. And we have our first person, our blood, Isidore Burak, our father. You can see if you hold left control in the game, it dims out the map, shows you people you can talk to, and will also give you icons in the air that will lead you in the direction of your current thoughts, where your thoughts are headed. So now we will walk along the warehouses and run along them, actually. I'm going to be checking a lot of containers because there's a lot of things to loot. Children give them names. They believe you can find a lost marble by calling after it. And here we have a water station. Perfect. We just got an empty bottle. We filled them up and healed our thirst. So now we have full stamina again. And we find 3 people standing here. Nightjar says, "She must be offended or ashamed. She's free to go," we told her, but she refuses. "I'll have you know, we were respectful. We only checked her legs. It's mandatory, and she had normal human legs. So free to go now, yet there she stands." "You checked her legs? What for? Are you harassing this woman, scum?" You'll notice that Haruspex has a lot of neither clay nor bone. She's a normal living girl, not a Shabnak, and so she's free to go. Yet she doesn't. She must be offended. The steppe people have odd morals. They don't fear death, they refuse to cut a body, and are ashamed of strange things. What's Shabnak? A Shabnak, a creature of steppe legends. They said that the earth disgorges it. Then it steals a woman's form and goes about murdering folks. It's all silly, of course, but we have an order to check, so we do. Who ordered this? We are the Sabarovs people. Each of the 3 houses assigned someone to look for the monster. The Algomovskis, the Kanes, of course, and obviously the Sabarovs. The latter being us. And who might you be, good sir? I'm Isidore Burak's son. I've returned home after 6 years. Oh, send my regards to your father, a most respectable man. He dragged my daughter from beyond the grave, and we almost gave up on her. You tell him that. Tell him that Peter the Nightjar sends his fondest regards. Will you stop hovering over the girl? You won't comfort her, you're only making it worse. Just go. I will. There were options, but I didn't feel it was right to presume her intentions for standing around. Shabnak Adir, a clay golem of local legends. It steals the shape of a young woman. You'll notice a lot of these thoughts have trails off of them. They'll let you know that they're connected to other things that you'll either continue to think on, like now. Redhead Grigory Fillin, aka Bad Grief, always goads me into doing crazy stunts. We used to have a secret lair in a warehouse, which we've stumbled upon right here. As we walk through the town, and as time naturally passes, our thoughts will progress or fade away, depending on which ones we give attention. This is useful in determining what we feel is important and continuing the flow of the town. Before we talk to Grief, let's talk to Grigory's Reflection. Even in a handcrafted town like this, there's an underground, a rat's nest, at odds with the law, at odds with good morals. People come to them with dubious challenges and requests. Just say it out loud, they're thieves. Who are you? A reflection. Call me his conscience, if you will. Grief's? I always knew Bad Grief's conscience was somewhere around, yet still separate from the guy himself. You know my master. He is your friend, and he hasn't changed much since you last saw him. He always loved to live on the edge, never was a stickler for rules, but he was never truly vile or cruel. Yet he has changed, and here I thought. He wants to seem a kingpin, a king, a local Caesar on his own turf. Wants to seem, not be, play a big wheeler-dealer. But that's not who he really is. He's just playing pretend? Don't make me laugh. Thieves and rats never tolerate false leaders. Are you telling me they're all just playing war here? Such is our town. You know it yourself. It's a very good village. Beautiful people live here, infusing it with a very spiritual dream. There's no real villainous crime here. Even the rats and thieves are softer. Yeah, right. Dreams live in the upper town, not here, closer to the bridge square. Would you like to know what your old friend is truly worrying about now? He's playing the dashing scoundrel in front of you, but his soul is trembling. Well, why? His soul has good reasons to tremble. He's worried that the blood started to spill now, and that it was probably spilled by his men, the people who rubbed shoulders with him, hiding their teeth at first. He's worried you'll think he has it all under control, meaning today's craze was his doing. Isn't it? How do you know he even has a conscience? I am his reflection. Who else is to know what his heart is worried about? Touching. Perhaps he is partially responsible. Perhaps he did corrupt them with his talk of how any law is but chains that one must break in order to become free and truly human. But he never wanted bloodshed. Keep that in mind. Thanks, reflection. That's comforting to know. It is. So we know that in his heart, our old friend's still similar to what he was. Well, look who's entered my home. Could that be my pal Artemy the artist? The Artemy who cuts arteries, maybe? No, I don't recognize this man. Too soft. They must have kept him swaddled and coddled, whatever palace he ran off for. Palace? I left for school. Knew you'd end up like this. Or, it's good to see you too. And it is. A little bird told me you're a hard-boiled criminal now. I'll admit, old friend, I got misty-eyed with pride. Lucky for you, I can store you anywhere in the warehouses. Ain't no quail or nightingale would sing a tune. You're a storekeeper. I'm not some product. It was self-defense. Forget it. Tell me this, friend. What's your plan? My plan? Why do you ask like that? Cub, your old man got killed this night. You haven't heard? What? You're lying. Hell, Artemy. Half the town wants your head over this, those fools. Ah, easy to fix. Give me a little time. Go ahead, if you want. What's the plan, then? Revenge? Or something with a little more finesse? Revenge. I'll find out who's behind this. Then we'll see. Just stay away from Saburov. I mean it, Cub. The man's a hawk. All might makes right. No sense. He'll throw you in jail first and only think months later. I know you're thick skull too. You charge in there, shoulders squared, thinking, oh, the truth will win out. Bullshit. Stay away. You hear me? Are you finished? Calm down. And that gave us a lot to think about. And so,
For what the
talk
devil
to him
can't
again.
do.
You run
Send a
into the old
woman.
crowd. Stock Reuben, Laura. Haven't seen them around. Gotta say, it's a tough time for our friendship. I mean, if you can even call this friendship. Gravel-hearted Laura won't even look at me now, and Stock's even worse. He completely ignored my plea for help. You need help? You gone outside recently? It's chaos. Innocent souls torn limb from limb. Everyone's lost their mind hunting the culprit. A step golem, some think, but others, they're after your hide, friend. All this going on naturally. My men ran into a mob. Barely got out alive. They needed sawbones. Bad. Your old man's gone, and his star student Stocks won't take the job, so... Something tells me your men weren't out there feeding the poor. Let me patch them up. I am a surgeon, after all. Are your men still here? Not here. Shiner dropped by. Said they're waiting for death in a hideout. Poor piecework, he's knocking on heaven's door. Got something stuck in the belly. Can you believe, folks? They're all shapeshifters, I swear, shedding skin and eating each other. May not look it, but every person in this town has a vile beast inside. I need tools. Don't have any on me. Tools. Got you all set, friend. Blessed be the warehouse, the wellspring of goods, including illegal ones. There, take a peek inside that crate and choose anything your heart desires. Although, maybe you should stick around. Dangerous out. Knock it off. Not like I can stay here forever. I'll drop by the patient when I'm in the area. Wonderful. Do you find anything in his belly he doesn't need? Don't toss it. Bring it to me. Might be useful. What, like a memento? You're still a weird one. Bred to the bone, I suppose. And a few more thoughts. We'll go through them. Alexander Saburov, the town's governor, is in charge of the investigation. I remember him. A stern man. Reuben is my father's student. Almost a brother to me. I should see him. He will help. Laura Ravel lives by the river in a house called the Shelter. We used to be friends when we were kids. Hopefully, she will at least let me sleep at her place. I need to find the people who still remember me, who will believe me without proof, who can vouch for me. Father's dead. I was too late. One of Grief's boys got stabbed. I promised I would take a look at his wounded belly. Just gotta remember to bring a scalpel. So, we learned a lot there. There's our old friend Ruben's house, and Father is dead. Should I still insist on rushing home? Up here is where one of Grief's boys got stabbed. I promised to take a look at his wounded belly. And there's Laura's house, all the way in the flank, at the very top. I'm going to save the game here, and then check the chest that his conscience is pointing out for us.
He was dead of a tumor.
Griff gives us a little poem right here.
To his neighbors
It's an interesting choice.
And that of his cow once he took her.
But you know what? There's no helping for taste. There's quite a few useful things in here. There's a good amount of money, a needle, which we use as lockpicks or as trade in this game, since sharp things are illegal. People, of course, want sharp things. And here we have a rusty scalpel, a weapon that can take someone's life, or an essential tool to surgery. We also have coffee beans, which restore a lot of our energy, but they are not good for you. And eggs are delicious. The chicken is yet to be seen. And bandages in case we get injured again. The scalpel's rusty. It's not the best tool we have. They couldn't suspect me of patricide, could they? Of course not. Impossible. Thoughts don't pop up while we're looting through containers, so we'll often get a pop-up after we close them, because time continues to pass. You can see my hunger went down, my thirst went up. I'm also using the tourniquet, so we're not on the edge of death. I'm equipping the scalpel as well, not as a weapon, just to be prepared. We're going to try avoiding fighting people in this game, although that's going to be difficult at first, since due to, as Grief said, our father's death and our reappearance, a lot of people have decided that we are the culprits of killing the only trained surgeon in town and leaving the entire town without a surgeon. Another empty bottle, some money. We're going to top up what we have while we got it. So another bottle filled and our thirst restored. We're going to check the other side of the warehouses. A lot of this episode is going to be spent in the warehouses, running back and forth as we find the two different major elements of it. Could Father have been killed by the very thing that made him summon me so urgently? It's possible. So our father's dead, and we were too late, and people think we're guilty, and now we have a warehouse room full of children. Look, see everyone? The doctor's here. Why do you think I'm a doctor? We've been looking for a doctor since morning. What other reason would a grown-up have for coming here? Tell me about your problem. You're too late. They died. Why didn't you come sooner? What kind of doctor are you? I've been asking myself that question all day. What happened? Our halves got poisoned. The doggies, Alma, Duke, and Wolfling. Who did it? Somebody evil. Notkin's planning on holding a trial. He wanted you to be there too. Well, at least I made it in time for the trial. Not all is lost. That traitor Leica saw you this morning, by the way. How you got off the train and beat those thugs to a pulp. Huh, so I have a living, breathing witness. Who is Leica? Not for long. He's doomed. Yeah? How come? He killed Duke, Wolfling, and Alma. Notkin will punish him for that. Don't you need to make sure he's the real culprit first? I'm speaking from experience here. Knives, scissors, blades, razors, anything sharp. If you got a sharp axe, I'm interested. Getting armed and ready. How about a sharp wit? It can cut deeper than a knife. Got a scalpel? Those items are what I barter for. We need them. And what would you give me for sharp objects? Lock-picking shoes. If you're handy with locks, you can open 3 or 4 doors with one. Brand new. And needles, good for smaller locks, like locker locks. So you trade needles for knives. Strange. Oh, so you aren't a local. We aren't allowed razors. If they catch us, we'll be grounded for a year. Might even get spanked. Nice try with the bullshit, but I'm not buying it. Razors aren't the only forbidden sharp objects. So where'd you get all these pens? Did you break into a tailor shop? Sure, a train full of needles derailed outside my window. Happy now? Why do you care? We barter because we don't need pins anymore. We've outgrown them. You're all grown up, aren't you? Now listen up, kid. Only butchers are allowed cutting tools in this town. Got it? Are you a butcher? Sort of. By birth. I'm a surgeon. It's like a butcher, but with a sharper knife. And now we can trade. Kids only want sharp things, which means our scissors and fish hooks. And our scalpel as well, but that's too important to sell. Luckily, we're able to buy some morphine. Everything else is a little bit out of our price range. Except for an immunity booster, which we don't have a purpose for yet, but it'll be useful in the future days. Thank you for actually coming. You're so brave. Look, we all made a gift for you to welcome you here. See, it's bread. Please don't frown. It's all we can spare. We need to eat too. There's a lot of mouths to feed here. Thank you. When I get my house back, come visit. I'll return the favor. Sorry it's so stale, and drink the milk fast, because it'll go bad soon. But the water is fresh from the ravine. No, wait, keep this, especially if you don't have much to give. So you kids are all hungry too. But you're a guest. Take it, or else we'll get bad luck. We need luck more than food right now. Ugh, okay, I understand. You poor souls. I'll take it. Thanks. I tend to trust the word of children in this game. Everything that she is selling is very out of our price range. But she takes a scrap name, charms, and marbles. Interestingly enough. We aren't able to buy the gloves or the shoes, so it's not really worth the trade at the moment.
Where are my right paws? Where are my bloodhounds?
Notkin says, you're here. Good. The trial can begin. Go on. A question first. They say you're no son of old Burak. He was a doctor. He saved lives. It is said that you kill instead. Is that true? I am a Burak. Have no doubt. Is what true? That this town is full of gossips and rumor mongers? Yeah, it surely is. Answer the question, please. Are you a murderer or no? I may have killed, yes. No, and listening to idle chatter does you no good. Killing is not necessarily murder. Tell me, is it right to kill? We need to know what you believe. Old Burak wasn't just a doctor to us. He was a teacher. He knew how to live. You say you are his son, so you're to take his place and answer. Is murder acceptable? It's right to kill someone who preys on the weak and defenseless, to take revenge against those who deserve it. No, killing is never right. Never forget that. Only in self-defense, and only to protect a loved one, too. This is the point where I was wondering whether I want to be honest with the kids, or if I wanted to be a good moral center. It was a very tough decision, but I think I came to the conclusion that, but you plan to avenge your father. We're talking about you, children, not about me. Good. Now we know what kind of man you are. Here ends the trial. You're free to go. So you know me, huh? That was quick. Guess I should talk to you if I'm ever confused. And we can talk to Notkin again.
Cats know the fact of the matter.
So,
Ignore
is
when
revenge
fool
bad
comes
too?
to chatter.
Do as I say, not as I do. Revenge is inevitable, boy. I'm already plotting mine. Yes, life finds its own way of punishing the wicked. So you say murder is bad, but it's easy for you to say. You've gave Wolfling a bone. Never fed Duke. Never met Leica. I'd like to see if you'd change your tune when you actually encountered the traitor. I bet my soul you'd lose it and snap his neck. What are you saying? You really ought to take better care of that soul. It's fine. I have a half on top of it after all. You have what? We each have a half besides our own soul. See this gray cat here, chasing his own tail? That's Jester. We're always together. I see no cat, though. Ah, I see. So the pet is like a third half of your soul. Indeed. Back to business, though. Why do you mention revenge at all? Here's the deal. You're so full of the milk of human kindness. Go and meet Laika for yourself. If you truly, honestly believe a lying, cheating lowlife like him deserves to go free, let him go free. But if you figure he needs to be taught a lesson, give him his leash. It'll bring him back here, guaranteed. Is this like a black mark of sorts? And then what? You'll kill him? No, it's a leash. He'll know what it means. You won't. All right, I'll take it. We have a deal. Murky said this by the gumstone. Ah, I know the place. The lad knows his hideouts. Who's Murky? The girl in the corner. She was the one who told us you're a killer. Did she see me then? She did, but don't bother her. She's frightened as it is. Fine. Where do I go? The gumstone. Stepward from the basket. Aren't you supposed to know all this? Or do you stepfolk have different names for everything? Nah, it's the same. I know the place. Ah, yeah. The step people call it Uruhilu. Hatred. It was just Uruhilu. I had an extra U at the end. We have more from that. The soul and the halves want to punish the culprit who poisoned their dogs, but I don't want them to do something they'll regret for the rest of their lives. That's connected to Laika. Laika apparently poisoned 3 of their pets, and... Oh, Whistler says, see your old Burak's son. And you are? A ferryman. What do you want? I've got bad news. Could it get any worse? Someone sharing your features spilled blood. It became known. People want revenge. They say whoever murdered the 3 men at the station today is also responsible for Simon Kane's death. Yeah? What else are they responsible for? What else? You won't like it. The townsfolk realize murder's no longer taboo. People sense they can now kill others. First, they looked for a Shabnuk Adig and killed several women. Then they went after the steppe creatures, Adongs. They're frightened. They turn to animals. What does this have to do with me? So they seek to punish murder by turning to murder themselves? Have there been many victims? Yes, but you're too filled with your own grief now to care. Fair enough. You're wrong. You have nothing to do with it, I know. I'm a ferryman. Well, almost. Actually, I'm a train driver. I know you were on my train. I wasn't alone, by the way. But you were. We drivers can feel the living weight. There's only one human being on the train. You. Odd. The townsfolk aren't too fond of ferrymen and drivers, so we will help you. Go to the quay, show your face to a worm, and he'll take you wherever you ask for a fingernail. Show your face to a man, and he'll help you out with the equipment. Thank you. People think I spilled blood last night. The rumor will spread in no time. There are ferrymen in the town. They're waiting for me. So now we have a few more options. Over there is where Laika is sitting, hiding. But there's a ferryman a short while away. However, I decided, for this initial attempt at least, to prioritize children and what they want. I told the children that it's wrong to murder someone, which isn't what I believe, but I feel it's what Artemy would want to tell children, and that he would, immediately after Bree murders himself, not be in the best place for that. Not exactly defensive of his actions, and more just regretful. It felt more honest. So, out of the fog, you can see the steps. Hatred, as they're called by the steppe people. And there's a dog hiding, even as our reputation goes down, and people now hide their eyes when they see me.
The worst is yet to come.
Look at you, feeling better, but the town's not too welcoming, is it? Don't worry, the steppe is wide. It can hide anyone. What brings you here? I am feeling better. Thanks for helping me back there. You're welcome. I'd tell you, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, but I'm not the type to demand back scratching back. So what do you want? Need another wound dressed? I'm looking for the punk who poisoned the boy's dogs. Know where he is? Why do you ask? Tell me straight. Were you the one who poisoned the dogs? All lies. I'm a good, kind soul. So it's true. Honestly, I'm surprised. Explain yourself. The Soul and a Halves are the real punks, and Notkin is the worst. All punks deserve to suffer, right? But you can't hurt them. They just wipe the blood away and keep going. So you need to hit them where it does hurt, right in the heart, make them see how it feels. Hit them where it hurts, huh? I think they were right. This world doesn't need people like you. So, a little bit of contradiction. No, spare me. We're friends. I helped you, didn't I? You owe me. Doesn't that mean anything to you? Let me to go. Maybe I could be useful to you. This is another quick decision point. He did give us a tourniquet, but I weighed this in my head, and I feel that three pets, 3 halves that they call half of their own, an extension of their own souls, was a weight worth more than a leash or a tourniquet. So it's something that I feel that has consequences that Artemy at the moment doesn't understand, but would make that decision. The dog killer is a doghead who saw me at dawn. He could testify to my alibi, but Notkin had plans for him. And so we returned to the warehouse district. And time continues to pass without us exploring much of the town, because we've already gotten caught up in children's court. This is what my last playthrough, my longest playthrough, turned out similar towards. I didn't do this stuff as quickly, but I did involve myself a lot more with the children and the way they interpreted things than I did with how the adults wanted it to go. Which led me to miss a few things that would be considered important, but I feel that by paying attention to the children, there's a lot to be gained. But see, even now, we could have gone to our house by now. But people in the town hate us already, so we haven't been able to get any ground, talk to any of our old friends other than Grief. And here's Notkin. Jester thinks you're a decent sort, and he's not the only one. So behold, we solemnly grant you this leash. It means you're always welcome here, and that you may even get your own half one day. Not everyone does. What did you do to the boy? We didn't kill him, as you can see. Good. So instead, he took a trip underground. Deep. Folks don't dig pits in the town. This I know. Has something changed? You mean 6 feet deep, don't you? Underground? What have you done, punks? Do you even know anything about the ground here? Nothing has changed, but there is at least one pit. Has someone gone mad? Where is it? Come on, are you serious? Those are old wives' tales. Where is it? Where is the pit? I can't say. I gave my word. Whoever dug it will be very sorry. Fair enough. I won't make you snitch, but I'll find the culprit myself. Now look, see Murky? There she broods. She saw you get off that train this morning, saw as you got attacked, saw everything. But she doesn't talk much, and I think few grown-ups would believe her. It's better than nothing, though. Thank you. I'll have a word with her. We're gonna talk to Leica first. First, stay, then play. So they didn't hurt you after all. Are you okay? Something seems off. You, friend? Outsiders, beware. No, we're not friends. How am I an outsider? I'm a local, and we've met. Don't touch. Bad boy, bad boy. You gotta actually wolf to make the joke work. What a stupid prank. No, you're a good boy. Keep up the good work. So there's obviously something missing from going underground.
Despite all the stuff, a good person.
Go away. I saw everything. No one saw me, but I did. I don't. Did you see the fight? Did you see me get off the train? What is there about you to love? Nothing. So I don't. That's all right. You don't have to love me. Perhaps there is something. The important thing is you saw me arrive at dawn, right? I don't need you. Nuh-uh. Things were great without you. Great. I need you, though, so don't go anywhere, all right? Okay. Maybe we will become friends when you get a little older. Honestly, I don't need you either. You're not very friendly. She did say I was a good person despite it all. We have more people as well now. Our bones with Bad Grief, and our nerves with Notkin and Murky, and our blood with Isidore Burak, and he's dead. grayed out. So I think exchanging three bonds for one is a fair price to pay, even if it is a hefty price to pay. But now we're leaving the warehouse, continuing down the rails. First to talk to the ferryman, and then to deal with our childhood friend, Stock. You can see the various symbols in the air. I don't understand exactly what the difference is between something getting its own symbol and just getting a loose circle. You are being hunted. You'll need a weapon. Pushing me in the direction of bloodshed, huh? Like you need pushing. Listen, we respected old Burek. You are the only person who can replace him. We don't want to see you dead, too. It just so happens that no one carries firearms around these parts. It's a peaceful town. That's for the best. And it just so happens that I have a revolver, but I can't give it away for free. For a reasonable price, though. Our storekeeper has his way of finding curios. He orders them from the big world to be delivered by train on Big Vlad's behalf. That's all right. The master can take it. Ah, bad grief. Why am I not surprised? Forget it. So are you interested in the deal? How much? 3,000? Are you nuts? I don't have this sort of money. I can wait for 2 days. If you don't take it by then, I'll do business with someone else. My circumstances are humble. As for the money, you'll have no trouble getting it. Isidore must have left your inheritance. It's hard to talk about it now, I understand, but business is business. Inheritance, I suspect I'll have a hard time obtaining it. Secondly, Isidore must have taught you how to hear and pick medical herbs. They're in bloom now, and merchants in the Broken Heart would give you a decent price for them. People lock their windows and hide children when I approach. We believe you didn't kill our patriarch. We'll transport you along the Gullet and the Guzzle, the tributaries of the Gorkon, our kind river, but it will still cost you fingernails. There's no other way. What about toenails is a bad joke. So we'll ask why you believe me. Because we are ferrymen, we know from which you came and when. The murders happened at night. You arrived in the morning. We sensed that a new person appeared in town. We keep track of that. Yeah, I remember your sense thing, something to do with weight. Yes, in a way, when you disengage from the earth and glide over water, you begin to feel the weight of humanity that Mother Bodo carries on her back. People are scared of water. The Gorkon is a kind river, but its water isn't for humans. You can't drink from the Gorkon. You ought to not walk into it either. We traverse its edge. It's frightening. We need fingernails so that we can always return. Fair enough. I'll keep an eye out for you when I have fingernails and want to travel around faster. We can buy a revolver, but that's something we won't do, because as I said, we'll avoid fighting. It's a system I don't enjoy engaging with very much, but it exists throughout. Oh, my brothers in spirits, behold a man, head held higher than the sky, behold a creature of well-earned pride. Dare I trouble you, good sir, with trivial talk? Great, a poet. Oh, how ferocious Mother Nature is, for 'tis her wrath that must be borne. Oh, friend, if only I could quench my thirst, I'd give heaven and earth for a sip of cold water. You're literally next to a pub. The pub is closed, good sir, but even if it wasn't, what makes it open, really? One must ask oneself. And anyway, Stomaton the curmudgeonly has introduced new rules with another sort of liquid flowing, a fiery one, a good one, but not one I need at the moment. So do you have water? I don't, but the river is right there. You'll make it, I believe you. Only brute beasts drink from the river. Us proud men deserve spring water. It is brought here in barrels, but they're too often empty. I would get it there, but I have no bottles. I drink from a fountain, but I might faint first. The air is far too heady. You're in luck. Have some of mine. And thus we can trade him a water bottle, and we get a very cheap tourniquet. And I feel this is a price worth paying. Water will become very important later on, but at the moment, there's more bottles right here, and we have plenty of chances to fill them up. They give us the same deal, but we don't have enough water for it anymore. But we do have one tourniquet. I feel it's a good idea to keep at least a few healing items on hand at all times. So for now, we'll be filling all of our bottles up with water and drinking our fill. We'll also pick up a bull bell. Did it bring luck to the one who wore it? You'll notice also that when we attract attention, people instantly wish to duel with us because of how low our, because everyone hates me. We punched him once, which was enough to make him stop. What have I done to him? Do I really want to know? What matters is I think I have new allies now. That's about Leica. There's a hunt going on, looking for a person with my features. And so we're fought back. Fighting in this game is not a good system, and you can see these two men are now chasing me. And more will chase me. Luckily, we're at Ruben's house. But first, there's a group of men fleeing from someone just standing there. Hey, Carlotta, I didn't do anything. Be Carla. You can protect yourself. I don't know. They behaved so strangely. What are you doing here, Basagan? I brought my bones here. Why? I won't explain to you. I did nothing wrong. I just brought my bones here. What's wrong with that? These bones are mine. I didn't steal them. I tell the truth. You should be more careful with your bones, Basagan. You're acting strange, and people rarely appreciate that. What's so strange about that? They're the strange ones. Come to think of it, it isn't. So go ahead and do what you want, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. It will not. I believe you, Basagan. They continue to chase me, even with this woman standing, holding a skull. She's not hurting anyone. So, we'll escape into Ruben's house. Unfortunately, he isn't home at the moment, as we'll see. However, there is a very important figure for us to talk to. Every other door is locked. We don't have a lockpick to open it, so we are funneled in one place. We could have bought a lockpick. We could have bought a lockpick from a child, but it does lower how much people like us.
If you look closely enough, any arc is made of a series of straight
The
lines.
bachelor, who we meet for the first time, well, one thing is clear. You are a very, very lucky man, which means you need to take care of yourself. You are so careless, Vorka. It's Artemy Vorka, right? Burak. Artemy Burak. Apologies. Oh, and may I ask, is it true that your actions have already resulted in 4 deaths? I'm not in the habit of spilling my guts to strangers, especially when they can't even remember my name. 3. Are you a detective? Daniel Dankovsky, Bachelor of Medicine, at your service. But before we speak any further, I'd like to clarify a rather crucial thing. Just how highly do you hold your sense of duty? Too highly, clearly, since it brought me back to this wretched town. Why do you ask? All Buraks are guided by duty. It runs in the family. Well, from this point on, you, owe me. I just saved you from a rather grisly fate. I don't remember seeing a rescue team. Perhaps I'll repay you in kind someday. Oh, I doubt it. I'm much more cautious than you, and attentive, and heedful. For example, I've managed to establish a friendly relationship with Ruben, your so-called friend. But Ruben is my friend. Your Ruben has utterly murderous intents. Isidore meant quite a lot to him. Your father was his mentor. Ruben even considers himself old Burak's true son, unlike you. Anyway, he thinks you're to blame for your father's death. I managed to convince him that you didn't actually kill Isidore. Well, not empirically, but I'm under the impression that, in Ruben's mind, you still caused your father's death. You did, after all, take your sweet time getting here, while Isidore was counting on your help. Is that true? No, it's not, and I sense some foul play in your valiant attempt to save me from my best friend. Trying to guilt-trip me, huh? That's clever. What a learned man you are. No, it is. I've thought about it myself. Look, you have my condolences, Varak. But since we've established that you owe me, let me explain how you'll repay your debt. Things are about to get a little tense, and I need only one thing. Just do exactly as I tell you. You're a doctor, right? I'm a surgeon, and a good one, too. Allow me to sum up. Ruben told me that he's the only decent doctor in town, but you're a competent surgeon. I need you alive, healthy, and quiet, close at hand. Spare me any wild improvisations. I'll be the one handling the situation. Medicum morbo adherium. How about you just shut up? I'll deal with Ruben myself. No middleman required. Where is he? I always stuck to this stupid language. I'll assume that was an apology. Go on to carry out my orders. From now on, your Ruben does what I tell him to. He entered my service of his own accord. I suggest that you do the same. It will help everyone. I just hate big city dandies who think they know best. Stubbornness is my guiding star, second only to my sense of duty. I suggest you put your high intelligence to good use and get out of my way, bachelor. An out-of-town dandy kindly informed me that stock considers me a patricide. Madness. I guess it's for the best that I misjudged him. But I missed him. More needles, immunity boosters, and money. Bachelor apparently doesn't care about us, robbing Reuben blind. So we will check all of his cabinets, see what we can get. Then after that, save and end our episode. We've already amassed a good amount of money. And I feel like we've learned a lot after the intro. There's a lot going on right from the start. It's hard to deal with, but there will be plenty of time to process as time advances, as we meet more people and find more things to process. Here we have a room with a skull and a cage. It's an interesting setup. I don't know why it is, but it is in there. We have an extra scalpel as well now, in case ours breaks, or we lose it, along with more morphine and a broken ampule. This is our first dead item, which we don't know what that means at the moment, but we will soon. And so, looking over what we have a leash. Whoever gets leash won't get away, and kids value it. We have beetles, a bell, morphine. If I take this before I sleep, I'll recuperate better. We gain more health if we take that. Assorted pills of unknown origin, boosts immunity, smells suspicious. This is a dead item, the carcass of an ampule of morphine. More sharp objects, fish hooks to trade with children. There's no chestnut trees in town, yet there's chestnuts everywhere. And so, we'll save the game, call it a night. We can see a man walking by back there. When we leave, we'll be hunted again. But for now, that's all. Good night.